One. Hi guys, today we're going to be seeing what if every country that ends with land united. So we have the members, which are New Zealand, Thailand, Poland, Finland, Netherlands. You could dispute that because it has an S, but I'm going to count it. Switzerland, Ireland, and Iceland. All these countries are going to be buffed, and without further ado, let's see the expansion. So the main goal of these countries are to at least get a border in the European stage and expand on the Asian stage a little bit. So that's what they're going to try and do. So first, they decide to invade Sweden and Norway. Let's close. So Finland cuts off this area of Norway from Norway and begins to push in from here. And Iceland and Poland have sent their armies. Yes, I know that in real life Iceland does not have an army, but I'm going to give it one now. Maybe it begins to push in, but Sweden is able to push in from here, and they are going to try and capture Helsinki, the capital of Finland, which is like here, I believe. But Finland is not going to let that happen so easily. And every country ending with land, I'm not going to sure what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it Landistan. So Landistan continues to invade, and they cut off a large amount of troops here, and they surrender. And these troops also surrender by the time this is happening. And now Finland has one broadened front line. They begin to keep pushing in into Sweden and Norway, and Iceland here is able to make a small landing in Norway, right here, and now Norway has to fight a war on two fronts. This is with the help of Ireland and the Netherlands as well. So Landestan continues to invade, and now Norway's main population centers are at risk, so they begin sending back troops, which gives Finland here, or this part of Landestan, an opportunity to keep pushing into Norway and flank some troops here in Sweden. They continue pushing in, and Sweden and Norway are kind of suffering in this situation. Uh, this part of Norway, the coast of Norway here, the south coast of Norway has been completely taken, and they continue to push up into Norway. Eventually, Norway surrenders, seeing no point. Their main population centers have been taken over, and it's just not looking good for them. So Finland now, Landestan now only having one target to push into, keep invading from here, and they are able to encircle a large amount of troops here. They eventually surrender. A naval landing is made over here. Wait, change that. Actually, I'm gonna give it to them. They made Finland. I mean, Landestan made a landing in Gotland. I think that's what that island is called, and also over here. They keep pushing into Sweden. Now they're threatening the major population centers, and Sweden hoping that they're gonna get good terms in this situation, surrender. Let's look at the peace treaty. Okay, so against Sweden's wishes, Sweden and Norway have now been fully annexed into land. I forgot what I called it. Something like that. Anyway, so now they want to connect Poland and this part of Landestan. That's what I'm going to call it. Landestan. Something like that. So Landestan decides to invade uh, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania here. And let the invasion begin. So this side of Poland decides to push in a little bit into Lithuania, and Lithuania is not having a fun time because their military strength is not that good, and they're able to push into the coast of Lithuania and push a little bit into Latvia, and it's just not looking good for the Baltics here. I did say that right, Baltics. Right. Okay. And Finland makes a naval landing from here and begins to invade Estonia. And on a war of two fronts, Latvia is just going to be squeezed into the middle. And they also do some naval landings on these islands here. And Estonia, not having much of its land left, surrenders. Lithuania keeps fighting on, but eventually they decide to surrender to avoid more war. And Latvia is just left in the middle here, and they're just pummeled. They just, yeah, they're pummeled. They can't handle anything. So they take over the entire coast. They encircle this entire area of Latvia, and Latvia, this kind of like surrenders. I think you're gonna get the peace treaty here, but let's find out. And as you probably assumed, full annexation, and now it's looking more united here in Europe. And now it's gonna be a little sad for this country and this country. Uh, Landistan decides to invade Germany and Denmark. They decide to invade them at the same time because why not? Just why not? Uh, Germany has been expecting this for a while now, though, and pushes into the Netherlands a little bit. And even though there was quite a bit of troops here, wasn't enough to stop quite a bit of German troops entering. They also make a small naval landing here, and this part of Landistan is quite rebellious, so they're able to make quite a good push in here. And but on the Eastern Front, uh, Landistan is able to push in to Germany, and they're going to try and make a push for Berlin. And seeing this, they evacuate troops from here, and this part of Landistan pushes into Germany. And the main objective of this part is to take Frankfurt, which they're going to try. They keep pushing in, and the naval landing here is reversed, and now they make a naval landing here instead. They start threatening Copenhagen, and Denmark just decides to surrender because it's scared. So Denmark surrenders. They send lots of troops to Denmark, and now they also start invading the northern part of Germany here. So this part also tries and goes for Berlin, and they keep pushing, and yeah, it's just not looking good for Germany here. Germany tries to make a counteroffensive. They push back the troops here, push the troops here back a little bit. Same thing here, but it's all in vain because eventually a small force is able to capture Berlin and encircle a large amount of troops here. They all surrender. Now that Germany's being destroyed on all fronts, literally, Landistan has united all its fronts. They continue to push into Germany. They take its lots of factories here and circle some troops. And eventually, Germany just decides to surrender because kind of has to now. Let's see if you guessed the peace treaty correctly. And you guessed correctly, guys. Full annexation. It annexed Germany, Switzerland, and Denmark fully. So now, Landistan is looking more united than ever. And yeah, so there's a couple more European targets though, and then they're gonna get out of Europe. The first one being, uh, oh wait, Belgium and Luxembourg, which they wait decide to declare war on. Luxembourg is so tiny. And they also decide to attack Belarus because they don't like how narrow this place is. So, yeah, let's see how this plays out. So, at first, Belgium and Luxembourg, they make a little offensive here. Very tiny, very insignificant into the Netherlands mainly, and a little bit into Germany just because it's a little rebellious. But soon enough, the troops of Landistan get in, and they encircle this area, take over Luxembourg, surround and make those troops surrender. They push, what was it? Belgium and Luxembourg out of there. Belgium capital has been taken, and Belgium surrenders quite quickly. Belarus it isn't even able to make an offensive because they put a lot of troops here. So they make an offensive here, Their main target is to capture Minsk. There isn't much forces that Belarus can do to stop the invasion, but with the forces they do have, they're able to punch these forces back and even push in a little. And the Belarus's goal is to not be taken over and split this area. So they get really close, but not close enough. They leave their flanks open. They get encircled, and these troops have to surrender. And then the spearhead is made. Minsk is captured, and Belarus, how's it pronounced? I don't know. Decides to surrender. Let's look at the peace treaty, which I know you already know. And as you guys guessed, full annexation. They annexed Belgium, Luxembourg, and Belarus fully. But that's enough about Europe. Now Landistan is going to focus on its holdings in Oceania and Asia. Yes, I didn't forget about you, New Zealand. So first, Thailand. They start sending a lot of troops there, and I mean a lot, and quite a bit. And then they decide to, one moment. They decide they're going to invade. Wait, switch color. Okay, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. They have gathered a lot of troops for this, and they're quite prepared. But so were all these three countries. And they were able to make a small push here, and they're going to try and cut off this part of Thailand from the southern part, if you know what I mean. This part from this part. They get close into completing that, but it's unsuccessful, so they just push it from here. But eventually, the troops straighten up. They push them out of well, Thailand, or Landistan, if you will. And now they begin their push. Their main objective is to split them in two, which they do so successfully, even though if it was quite tough. And then they start attacking the north, and yeah, it's not looking good for them. We're not going to talk about the Vietnam War. We'll talk about that. They're able to take the coast of Cambodia, and they take the coast of southern Vietnam, and start slithering up the coast like that. They're able to do this, right? Able to do this, and all the coast is taken, and now this area is surrounded. They start squeezing in, and eventually both of these areas decide to surrender, including the whole of Cambodia. A moment. Oh, that was useful. Come on, you little. There. Okay. Now they're trying to focus on the north, but the blue team is able to make a little bit of a comeback. They make a spearhead here, and they're able to push some of the troops here back and encircle some. But that's the last punch. They do this. They make a spearhead here, circle the troops here. They all surrender. And yeah, these two countries just decide to surrender. Let's look at the peace treaty, which, spoiler alert, is full annexation. Yep, you guessed it, full annexation. This is big Southeast Asia, I'll tell you that much. Now, the final thing Landistan wants to take over is Papua New Guinea, and yep, they're gonna start taking it over. So this part of New Zealand and Thailand, they both make some naval ships to get there, and they're able to make two landings. One over here. Wait, New Zealand is able. Come on. New Zealand is able to make a landing here. They start pushing up here, and Thailand, which is a part of Landistan, starts pushing it from here. And Papua New Guinea's army tries to push them back, but it didn't really do much. And then a few more landings here, few more here, and eventually, with overwhelming troops, they push into Papua New Guinea, and yeah, Papua New Guinea's not having a good time. They take over all this area. They take over this island here to little resistance, and they keep pushing into Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea makes a smart choice and decides to surrender. And I don't have to drop orders on this one. it's full annexation. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button. Like Landistan crush these countries. No offense if you come from those countries. And subscribe if you want, but I can't force you to do anything. And yeah, so here's the final standings if you want to see it. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye!